What's up, guys? It's Bulldozer TV, and here with me is my fantastic co-host, Mr. Albert, a big Arsenal fanatic to digest the biggest game on planet Earth this weekend. Arsenal against Chelsea. Everything is on the line. Arsenal going for the title and Chelsea fighting for the Champions League spots. So let's get straight into it. Mr. Albert, how confident are you that Arsenal is going to beat Chelsea?
Well, firstly, I don't know whether it's the biggest game on the planet this weekend. Maybe the biggest game for Chelsea because we've not won at the Emirates in
Oh,
several
wow.
years. But yeah, and also probably the biggest game for Chelsea because you seriously need a top four slot with the financial situation you are in. But for us at Arsenal, looking at the recent 10 games and the score lines between Chelsea and us, and even our most recent game where Havertz came in with a dagger last minute. And for your information, I've heard he trained over the weekend. So I don't really expect a surprise tomorrow. For us, it may not necessarily be a very big game. We are quite confident looking at the results between the games between the two of us recently. And also considering that there's a lot of pressure on Chelsea to get a top five slot. So for us, it's an easy game, basically.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You think it's an easy game for Arsenal, and you
Very
think
easy
there
game.
is much more pressure on Chelsea to beat Arsenal in order to get to the top five positions. But let
Yeah,
me
I
tell you
believe.
something. Arsenal has not won the trophy in 20 something years. You are known to be buttless, and you do not want Man City to overtake you, and then you now become the chasing team for the title. So I think if Arsenal lose this game, there'll be much more pressure on Arsenal and there'll be risk press, just like there was the same risk press when you lost against Wolves. So I think, and also playing at the Emirates, I think there is much more pressure for Arsenal to win this game. And this is a derby. I know you've won your recent games against Chelsea, and the last time Chelsea beat Arsenal was in 2021. But I think this is going to be different. And I will tell you, I'm 80% confident that we are going to write a new story this Sunday.
You see, I just laughed. Right? It's looking at the current form of Chelsea, looking at the crop of players you have, looking at the injuries you currently have, looking at your coach and how he tactically set up the last time he came to the Emirates. He basically set up as a mid-table team playing against Arsenal. He knew he couldn't go toe-to-toe against Arsenal. Now that you need to win this game, I don't know how he's going to set up, but you do know that if you do open up, your odds of winning are going to significantly drop. That's why he set up with a five back the last time. And you don't have Fofana. I think you don't have Kukurea as well. Havertz is coming back in from injury. So I don't know. For us, I don't think it's going to be a very big. I think the boys are very calm. I think Arsenal fans in general are very calm. There was a time when Arsenal fans used to be worried when Chelsea was coming up. Thanks to
Mm.
our maestro Mikel Arteta, that time is past and gone. So
Who has not
Chelsea
won
is an
any
easy
trophy?
game for us. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the key matchups, the injuries, and also the players who we believe they are going to play in this game. So, as I said, Chelsea is missing Cucurella, we are missing Fofana, and then we are missing Esteva. These are the three key players that I believe they would have started in this game. And that is why my confidence is not 100%, it's 80%. Because if those players were in, I believe we would have won this game. And I believe that this is why I believe Chelsea would win this game, because whenever we are seen as the underdogs, especially whenever everybody counts us out, that is when we produce magic. That is when we become the Chelsea that we know. So you saw it in the Club World Cup. You saw it against Liverpool this season, and you've seen it in some big games. And I know that my team is a big game team, because that is when the players stand up and they do their best. So I don't have any excuses, but what I'm going to tell you is that if Tosin starts this game, then my confidence will be around 20%, because he's the worst Chelsea player that I've ever seen. So that is my only worry going into this game. Any player can start for Chelsea, but not Tosin. And I know we talk about Arsenal, and I know we've gone back and forth with your boring FC because your attack is blunt. Let's call it a spade. Your attack is blunt. You have who Jokeres. He scores against only relegation threatened team. He has never scored against any big team. And don't tell me about Carabao Cup. That goal, even a toddler will be able to score it. So he has not scored against any good team this season in the Premier League. And who Madueke, I don't even want to mention his name. Who else is going to? Who else do you think has the X factor to score against Chelsea for Arsenal to come home with a victory?
So you see, that's the beauty of this Arsenal team. It's an all-round strong team. Okay, so even though the attack is firing blanks, especially in the PL, because in the Champions League and in other competitions, the attack is much better and much sharper. And I think the attack is also blunt in the PL because of how teams you play against set up against us, like how you set up in the Carabao Cup. That's how a lot of teams set up against us. And with that setup, it's difficult to break through. And with the physicality of the Premier League, it's difficult to break through. But then if you look at Champions League and then other competitions, especially Champions League, where you have other European teams coming in, opening up and coming in with a mentality to play football, but not sit back and defend, you see that our attack is much sharper and we're able to play scintillating football. Right? Said, I'm not worried about this Chelsea team. Even if you had your full squad in there, I think we would have still beaten you, would have still been very confident against you. Liam has done a good job since he came in. Probably a better job than your previous manager. What's his name?
Maresca.
Enzo, right? Enzo Maresca, exactly. But I would probably attribute some of that to new manager Bowles and a lot of players wanting to impress because there's a new manager in there. He's done a good job with Andre Santos so far because your DM position was quite weak and that is a revelation so far. But I think the players are playing very well because there's a new manager in there. They're trying to impress and get in the manager's good book, right? But then that is going to run for so long, guys. I think there's a huge gap in the quality of players that Chelsea has and the quality
I
of players that
disagree.
Arsenal
I
has.
disagree.
I
I
think there's a huge
disagree.
gap in the quality of players that Arsenal has and the quality of players that Chelsea has. The only Chelsea player that probably gets into the Arsenal squad is Reece James, right? And maybe Joao, right? Aside
What
these two,
what are you saying? What are you?
who else?
Are you trying to tell me that Zubimendi will be ahead of Caicedo?
Caicedo is the worst DM in the
No, no, no,
PL
no.
this season.
So are you trying to tell me you are going to play Zubimendi right instead of Caicedo right?
I would definitely choose Zubimendi. Zubimendi offers more stability, more
Oh my
calmness in
God! What are you?
midfield
Okay,
over Caicedo. I'm not
okay,
saying
now,
Caicedo is not a good player, but if I'm supposed to choose a DM in a crunch game, I cannot trust Caicedo. He's going to do
okay.
something silly, very likely.
We all know that he has done some silly things, but when you're talking
Exactly.
about one of the best DMs in the world today, I wouldn't even say
I think you are
he's top three. I would say he's top two or top one. He's one. The DMs. And this is the thing. Okay, now Arsenal, Chelsea combined 11. Who is the goalkeeper? I will give you who is the goalkeeper? Arsenal, Chelsea combined 11.
obviously Raya.
Okay, I'll give you that. Right back.
Right back. Reese is the right back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Reese, obviously.
Left back.
But Timber has been off form in the
Yeah,
last couple
but
of games.
you are
I'll
facing
give
the
it to
ball
Reese.
to reach the
I'll give it to
fucking game.
Reese.
Left
I'll
back.
give it to Reese. Centre backs, there's no point even
No,
debating.
okay, center back, Gabriel Saliba. I agree.
That's fine.
I'm not going to debate. Left back.
Left back, Hinkapie. Raskuku is good. I'm not saying Raskuku is not good.
No, I'm not.
Raskuku is good.
Not even say
But
Raskuku is good. He's
Hinkapie
the best.
over the last
He's
5 games.
no. He's better than Hinkapie. He's better than Hinkapie. And then,
But then you forgot to even have Calafiori, who's also very good.
forget Calafiori. Yeah, your fans are even on him currently. Against
No, because he
Wolves,
just came back. No, he just came back from injury, and he needs time to ramp up.
Raskuku,
Right? Obviously Zubimendi. Zubimendi
No,
rise midfield pivot.
no, I'm going Caicedo Rice.
I cannot see as a coach, if I were a coach, in
Who
the
is
crunch game.
Zubimendi? This
Hold
one
on,
was
hold on,
Zubimendi
hold
did
on.
against against
on,
Manchester United.
hold on,
That's
hold
not
on.
what he
At
has been
least,
doing lately.
hold on, hold on. At least he didn't get a red card. You know, a red card, you let your whole team down.
Oh,
You
no,
completely
that's
let your whole
overzealousness.
team down. I know
That's
Zubimendi.
overzealousness.
Exactly. That's the thing. I cannot trust a player like
Yeah,
Caicedo in a
no,
crunch game where the
but
stakes are high because he's going to be overzealous and he's going to do something stupid.
this thing you are talking about, Sunday will be a different story. And then I know that after Sunday,
That's what you said the last time.
when we whoop your ass, when we dismantle Arsenal,
At the
you guys
Emirates.
will
At
be
the
all over,
Emirates.
and I'll be on Arsenal fan TV making fun of you guys. Okay, so now 4-2, the top three, the left wing, who are you going for?
Left wing, I think your wingers are all shit, right? So left wing, I'll really go
You know,
with Trossard because Martinelli is good, but then Trossard is very productive as a forward,
okay, if
right? So I'll go with
Trossard,
Trossard.
okay, right wing,
Right wing, Saka has been off form recently, but then his numbers are still better than Estaval's numbers, right? I don't know who else
you
you
know,
have on
you know,
right wing. Is it Pedro Neto?
I'm going
Wait,
to
hold on. Is it Pedro Neto on your right wing as well?
yeah,
Chelsea fans
but
want to
now he's
kill
playing left
Pedro
wing.
Neto.
No,
Chelsea fans
no,
want to kill Pedro Neto. So I
no,
don't know.
we are not even including Pedro Neto in this squad, so don't forget that. So right wing, I will give you Saka because Estival has not really had a consistent run of games and he's just up and down a little bit. So I'll give you Saka. I'll give you to
Yeah.
and then the number 10 position,
And
the
you give
attacking
me
midfield.
Trossard for left wing, right?
Yeah. And then the attacking
Okay.
midfield position, the 10
Attacking
behind the striker.
midfield. I mean, Palmer is good, but he's also been spotty, right?
Yeah, but who
Hold
is
on,
that?
hold on,
Who
hold
is
on,
that?
hold on,
Don't even talk
hold
about
on,
Eze. He's just a one
hold
team
on.
player. He only plays against Tottenham Hotspur. So don't fuck. I don't even want to hear of Odegaard. Like I don't want to. So it's
No,
Palmer. So
Odegaard,
you have Saka.
Odegaard has had a tough time with injuries, right?
Okay.
Genuinely think that if Odegaard had a consistent run of games, or even Eze had sort of a consistent run of games, even better than Odegaard in terms of availability, right? Odegaard has been much less available than Eze. Maybe if Odegaard was more available, I believe that his numbers would be better than Palmer's numbers, considering Palmer's injuries as well, and it will probably be Odegaard, right? But then between
Well,
Cole
no, no,
Palmer
no,
and
no. Why
Eze,
would you?
hold on, hold
When
on,
has Odegaard
hold
even
on.
had a 10-goal season since he came to Arsenal? But the guy
I
cannot shoot.
mean,
He just gives
that's the
short
thing.
passes.
Hold on.
He's not a threat in front of goal. So
Odegaard,
let's not even go there.
Odegaard Odegaard may not get a 10, he's not had a 10 goals season, I think, since the 2023-2024 season, right? But then every
Yeah.
season is going to be in the close to the tens for assists and then for goals. That's even if it's a bad season for him. He's going to end up around 8 or 9 assists and 8 or 9 goals, right? I don't know where
Mm.
Palmer is trending now. I don't know that he's closer to those numbers. But then Palmer
No,
is
it's
having
close.
a
It's close.
40 season, and I don't know
Yeah,
what his
it's
numbers look
close.
like. For me, it would be between Palmer and Eze, but then I'll say it's a tie.
Nah, I'll go for Palmer. But silky Palmer, cold Palmer. And then the number 9.
He's
It's
been
not even,
scoring just penalties.
you don't care.
He's been terrible so
And the number,
far. He's been terrible this season. So,
nah,
and I said my
but
tens have also not
is
been
it
very
only shows up
excellent.
against Tottenham Hotspur? He only
So
shows up against Tottenham.
we'll tell Eze that this weekend we are playing against Tottenham. That's all.
We are not a relegation 20 team. And then the number 9 is not even a debate because Jokeris is not a good player. He's Joao
Joao,
Pedro.
hold
Joga
on.
Bonito.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Joao Pedro has just one more goal than Jokeres in the Premier League and in all competitions. Jokeres has 15 goals and Joao Pedro has 14 goals. That is for your
That's all
information.
competition. We are
That is for
comparing
your
Premier League.
information.
No, right?
For
Jokeris
me,
is not good.
I mean,
He's just a
I like Joao Pedro. When I at the start, right, I mentioned that there are probably just 2 Chelsea players that could potentially get into this Arsenal team, right? And
I
those 2
just
players
mentioned.
are
We just
Reece
have. We
James.
just.
Hold on. Reece James and then Joao Pedro. So I do like Joao
Yeah.
Pedro. I don't mind having Joao Pedro in the Arsenal squad. I would definitely take him any day, right? So I would also say that the striker position is a tie between Gyökeres and Joao
No,
Pedro.
no, no, no,
But
no.
then when you look at the
Joker, my
numbers,
God.
for a striker, you look at the numbers. When you look purely at the
No, no, no.
numbers,
We
for me,
also
it's
have the eye test.
Gyökeres.
We also have the eye test. You have to bring your players in the game.
For a
And
striker, you
then with
don't
the
give a
eye
rat's
test,
ass about eye test because look at
he's
Haaland.
just
You
a
don't give
poor
a rat's
man.
ass about you don't give a rat's ass about Haaland's eye test. Haaland is productivity. Do your job in front of goals, score goals. Are you telling me you won't take Haaland because of eye test?
No, but then when the goals are not coming, you need to do the intangibles. The holding
But
up play,
but
the
then Gyökeres
passing,
is
the
getting in
assisting.
form. All those things are getting better for Gyökeres, right?
In
And as I
for
said,
against which
even though
team?
even
Against
though
which team?
even though it doesn't matter, it's total
It
numbers. We don't.
matters.
It doesn't matter. When we looking, he scored
He has
against
not
Chelsea.
scored.
What are you
He
saying?
didn't score against
He
Chelsea.
scored
He didn't
against
score against
Spurs.
Arsenal. He has not scored
He
against
scored
the top
against Spurs.
18.
Chelsea won 2 trophies last season. Spurs won a
Against
trophy last
Spurs,
season.
a relegation
Spurs won a
threatened
trophy
team,
last season. They won a
a
trophy
team
last season.
that
They are a big club. They
a
are a
team
big
that
club.
by May they'll be relegation. See, this is the thing. Gyökeres is not a good striker. He is not a good
But he
striker. So
scored more goals than your superstar striker. Come on.
not in
This
the
this
Premier
is
League.
agenda.
Not
This is agenda at this point. We are not playing only in the Premier League. You are also playing in all those competitions. João Pedro is playing in all those competitions as well.
and then you made a dire statement that when teams are playing you, they play defensive game, they sit back. It was only in the Carabao Cup when Arsenal were in the lead and Chelsea. So with this trophy in the second leg, Chelsea rather needed to score, but Arsenal, there was no pressure on Arsenal to score. So that was why it was still comfortable for Arsenal to play. But this is the case. There is pressure for Arsenal to win the game, and there is pressure for Chelsea to also win the game. So both teams need to attack. And this is going to be a different ball game. I've already called Arsenal.
let me just respond to that. I think there's pressure on both teams. That I agree. But I
Yeah.
think that it will be more disastrous for Chelsea not to qualify for top 5 than for
I
Arsenal
know.
not to win the Premier League.
I know.
I
If
think.
Arsenal don't win the
So I
Premier
believe
League,
there's more
that
pressure on.
will be the end of Arteta. And
No,
Arsenal
but
fans,
we are
they
in
believe that
3
will
other
happen.
competitions. If you don't win
No,
the
forget
Premier League,
about it.
we have
You are
other
not winning.
options.
You are not winning the Champions League. Forget about it. You don't know how to win the Champions League. You are going to, maybe you might win the
There was a
Carling
time.
Cup
There
and
was
the
a
FA Cup.
time. There was a time when the same thing was said about Chelsea, that Chelsea is a new informed club. You don't know how to win the Champions League, and you still won it. So there's always a first time. The point I'm making is we are in contention for 4 trophies. As
But
it
you need the
stands now,
Premier League. You need the Premier
now,
League.
you are in contention for 2 trophies. And even if you win those 2, well, I don't know whether, I think if you win the Champions League, you would have to automatically qualify, right? But then your part. I don't know how confident you are about winning the Champions League. Looking at the recent draw,
It's a very difficult draw, and I'll say Arsenal fans will have more confidence than Chelsea fans because we have to go to very big teams in Europe in order to even get to the final. So that's a different ball game altogether. But I know
but the point I was making. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
The Arsenal fans and the team really want the Premier League. This is what they've been craving for.
I can bet you. Let me quickly respond to that.
If you want to lead this, it's going to be the greatest bottle job ever. Because it's in your hands. It's in your hands. So there is no way you have to bottle it. You want
every Arsenal fan,
fan
would be happy if we don't win the Champions League and we end up with a major European trophy plus another local trophy. I can bet you every Arsenal fan will be happy about that. The only trophy we've not the only trophy we've not laid our hands on is the Champions League.
Yeah,
right?
but
And I can bet you you can say that now. We got to the semi-finals. I mean, we just go back in the Champions League last 3 seasons. Last 2 seasons, we made it to the quarterfinals. Last season, we made it to the semi-finals, and the team we lost to, ended up being the eventual winners, right? So you cannot just write off Arsenal and say that you cannot win the Champions League. That is lame.
I know your history,
lame, right?
I know your history, and I know you will not win. So you have to go for the Premier League. That is what you want to become
That's
the
the
champions
thing.
of
We don't
England.
have to go for the Premier League. We have options. We actually have options. But for you, if you don't qualify for the top 4, and with your financial position, with your recent
Oh, forget.
counts that were released,
My board is not panicking. It's just outside fans that are panicking about financial losses, and my board is not panicking. We are
if
good.
you say so,
So okay. So this is the thing. Sunday, Arsenal against Chelsea. What do you think will be the scoreline? Your prediction. And I want you to be clear about it. After the game, you come on Bulldozer TV, whether you won or you lost, for post-match analysis, because I am confident that we are going to beat you this Sunday, and we are going to sing the most famous song in Arsenal's history. Do you want me to sing that song?
if you want
Second place
to, it's up to
again,
you.
ole, ole, ole. Second place again, ole, ole, ole. So,
Let
what do you
me
think the
before
scoreline
I
will be?
even come to the scoreline, let me quickly respond to second place again. Okay, the seasons where we've lost out on the trophy to excellent or better teams, the teams were clearly much better, right? Man City had KDB in form, had
I agree.
Haaland in form. KDB is no more there, and Man City is not in that flow state they used to be in. Back in those seasons, they got the trophy from us. Liverpool, that's the same thing. They were in flow state up until when they knew they had won the trophy and then they lost a few games, right? This season, Arsenal is not doing very well. We are not, as smooth as we can be. But
No,
then I
but you are
can
the
say
best.
same. Hold on. But I can say same for Man City too. Man City has not been, in flow state throughout the whole of the season, right? They have also been a bit spotty, right? So even if in the unlikely event that we lose a game prior to the end of the season, right? I still think that City is not in that position where they can go, 10 games, 11 games unbeaten and clinch
I
the
agree.
trophy. City would most likely drop points as well. So we may drop points along the line. City would also drop points. So it may not be, second place, ole, even if we drop points tomorrow. That's
Okay.
one. And then to come into the prediction, it's dicey because Arsenal against Chelsea, 2024 was 5-0 at the Emirates, right? But then over the past few seasons, the scoreline has been quite close. 2-1, 3-2, 2-2 here and there. But then what I know is Chelsea is not going to leave the Emirates with a win. So I would go for a conservative 2-0 if our defense messes up and then gives away a goal, like they've been doing recently. But then I know Chelsea's not leaving the Emirates with 3 points. The best you can do, and it'll be a terrible day for Arsenal if you clinch a point, but the best you can do will be to clinch a point. But then I'll go with a 2-1 or a 2-0 Arsenal with Gyökeres scoring again against Chelsea.
That would be a travesty if Joker scores against Chelsea in the Premier League. And this is what I'm going to tell you. I have confidence that we are going to beat you guys 2-1. We are going to beat you guys 2-1. And then we are going to make sure that Arsenal do not win the Champions League.
I think you need to win not because you want to stop Arsenal from winning the Premier League, but then because you need to qualify for top 4, right?
Yes, and I know that.
And I think your
players.
players even know that it's not going to be easy, right, to come to the Emirates to win, right?
Yeah.
As I said, we can afford to relax in this game. We can afford to take it easy. We can afford to wait for you to open up the game and then try and clinch a goal, and then we'll just hit you at that. So I think it's going to be a relatively easy, calmer game for Arsenal with Havertz coming back with a dagger in the last minute as well.
Last point. Tell your players not to surround their goalkeeper, not to play that kind of haram football, because we want a good London derby, not haram football decided by a crazy and ugly corner kick. Even if you score a corner kick, score a good corner kick, not those kind of ugly corner kicks. Because Chelsea is going to play beautiful football with Joga Bonito's goals.
I don't know what you mean by beautiful football, because the last time you were at the Emirates, you played 5 defenders. You had 7 defenders on the pitch. You had 7 defenders on the pitch, and you're talking about beautiful football.
Do you think the lab will be playing that game?
Also, he may surprise you. You don't know what your coach will come up with.
He wouldn't even get 5 minutes of the game. Don't forget about it.
Dilap may start on the right wing like he did the last
He's
time.
not
You
good.
don't know.
He can't. He's not even good in his favorite position. How much more on the right wing? That game we just threw it away. So forget about it. Forget about
Yeah,
it.
in response to the corners, there's a reason why there are referees on the pitch. If the referee spots an infringement, I think they are going to call it out, right? So long as it is not an infringement, it's open to all. Plus, you might have seen other PL teams, especially Man United and others, copying the same tactics that you guys have been complaining about and
Yeah,
scoring a
because
lot of goals from corners. It's been 5 games since we last scored from a corner, right? So maybe we'll just get
exactly.
back in our corner goals form with you guys
Never.
tomorrow.
With without Tosin, we are eating good.
What makes you think Tosin won't play? Because if you have to play 5 defenders and with
No, we are
Fofana
not
and
playing.
Kuku out,
No, we are not. We are not playing. So okay, there you have it. Arsenal versus Chelsea preview, and it has been feisty. It has been entertaining, and we will come back with post-match analysis when Chelsea
don't run away for
will be
the
out
post-match
of
analysis.
Arsenal.
Don't run away. Don't
But
go on a
today,
trip.